In the next 5 minutes, you're going to learn all about using emotional hotspots to your advantage. What is an emotional hotspot? Essentially, it is something that triggers a strong mental or physical reaction to something, whether it's a word or a story or an image, maybe things that trigger certain feelings in someone. Just like I might use in advertising and copywriting, you can use feelings and tapping into your audience's emotional hotspots to try to persuade them to think a particular way or to do whatever it is that you want them to do, to invoke action, right? You can use this in your communications and in your presentations. We have to remember that people often rely upon their feelings to make decisions and not necessarily their thoughts or information. Okay, a lot of decisions are made based on how people are feeling, how they feel about you, the presenter, or how they feel about the information that you're sharing. So I came across an article the other day in Fast Company, and I wanted to share this paragraph with you because it was so on point. So, and I quote, and this is from Fast Company, I quote, "The most startling truth is we don't even think our way to logistical solutions. We feel our way to reason. Emotions are the substrate, the base layer of neural circuitry underpinning even rational deliberation. Emotions don't hinder decisions. They constitute the foundation on which they're made." Isn't that great? That's so on point. I love that. It's all about emotional hotspots. So how do you figure out what the emotional hotspots are for your particular audience? Well, hopefully you can get a list of who all's going to be there ahead of time, and you can try and figure out some current themes, right? Do your research ahead of time. Maybe you're going to talk to a particular company, right? You can research their website, their LinkedIn pages, any sort of email communication, right? Their social media. Same thing if it's a group of individuals. Can you go and figure out what it is that, keeps them up at night? What are their drivers? What are their passions? What are their interests? See what's available. Look at their social media posts if they're available. If you've had any sort of email communications with them, look at that, see how they communicate. What is it that triggers them? Maybe, for example, you're going to go talk to a company and you have looked at some of the employees there and at their social media pages, and you see some sort of recurring theme of these people seem really overworked, or they're feeling stressed because they're overworked. So use that to your advantage. Integrate that somehow into your presentation. You want to create understanding. You want to show them that you care. You want to share empathy, right? Show empathy. Cater to your audience. Once you know who they are, that's how you can tap into their emotional hotspots. What is it that's going to convince them to do what it is that you want them to do? Think about that. What are their passions, their concerns, their drivers? What is it that keeps them up at night? Try relying on this emotional content. If you're looking for a positive spin, maybe it's things such as friendship or inspiration, warmth, motivation, happiness, any of the above. Depending on the audience, you may even consider humor or sarcasm. Try using some of these in your next presentation or your communications piece to see if and how your audience behavior changes. Can you see them nodding in agreement? Can you see the light bulbs go off in their heads? Try it. Use it to your advantage. Use it to be constructive in your presentations. It really helps shape interactions. You can make better personal connections, foster better engagement. And as a bonus, when you use emotional hotspots, it really helps people retain information as well. So great bonus there. Maybe you share a story or something that they can relate to, and they'll be like, oh yeah, I remember that story that Julie shared. And it really illustrated this point and drove it home. All right. Be careful with this though. Remember, your audience cares about whether or not your message is relevant to their own interests and concerns. So for example, if you're opening up a presentation with, today I'm going to talk about blah, blah, blah. Now, instead, try something like, in the next 30 minutes, you're going to learn how your department can turn into, rock star status, right? Notice how the emphasis is taken off of yourself and instead put on the audience. It's not I'm going to talk about, it's you will learn. And then you gave them that they really something inspirational, something they want to all strive to be, a rock star, or rock star status, whatever you want to call it. You can use storytelling as a safe way to garner an emotional response. It can be something inspirational as, let's see, I saw this story the other day and it was so beautiful. There was this young gal in a third world country who unfortunately had watched her mother not survive childbirth. It's simply because they didn't have the medicine or the proper health care there in this third world country. And it inspired this girl to go on and do anything and everything that she needed to do, go to college and get trained to be a medical doctor so she could go back to her country and help try and prevent those things from happening ever again. So beautiful, so inspirational, right? Love it. But it doesn't have to be something as far-fetched as that. It could be something that in everyday life, our day-to-day activities, something that everybody can relate to, like, I don't know, taking out the trash or something funny with kids, right? Things that people can still relate to. So try using storytelling to garner an emotional response, whether it's something super out there or something everyday. This is how you can make a lasting impression, by using these emotional hotspots that people can relate to and that will trigger some sort of emotional response. Try it out at your next presentation and see how it goes. Until next time, I'm Julie Cortes.